Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Life on Turkey Lane. How are you guys tonight? I hope you're doing wonderful. Hope you've had a very blessed and wonderful day. And it's almost Memorial Day. Can you guys believe that? I mean, it doesn't seem like possible that we're this far along in 2023. But yep, we sure are. It's Monday will be Memorial Day. Today is Thursday. And so I'm looking forward to the long weekend, and I thought I would share a good recipe with you to go along with your barbecue. I hope if you're planning on grilling out, I hope you're planning on grilling out or having some festivities to kick off the barbecue season and the summer season. And if you are eating low carb or trying to stay away from the higher carb side dishes and vegetables and things like that, then I think I have the recipe you might be interested in. We are going to make fauxtato salad. Yes, fauxtato salad, not potato salad, fauxtato salad. So let's get this recipe started. Okay, guys, so to start this recipe off, we are going to be using as our main ingredient radishes. Now, not potatoes, we're going to use radishes. Now, you may think, oh, that's kind of weird to use radishes as the main ingredient. But did you know that you can cook radishes? I mean, all my life growing up, we always had radishes and they were raw. They were on our salad or something like that. I never had a cooked radish. And a little while back, a couple years ago, maybe a year or two ago, I discovered that you can roast radishes. Well, I also found out that you can boil radishes or simmer them until they're soft, just like potatoes. And guess what? When you cook the radishes in that way, it takes that kind of like that spicy flavor out of them. So yeah, we are going to use radishes for this recipe. I think you're going to love this. If you, especially like I said, if you are a low carb dieter, or you're trying to stay away from potatoes, or you just want something a little bit different, try this. I think you're going to love it. So we've got our radishes, and then our other ingredients are just the same kind of ingredients that you put in your normal everyday classic potato salad. We have some dill pickles. I've got some boiled eggs. I've got mayonnaise. This is my homemade mayonnaise, and I've shown a video where I've made some of this mayonnaise, but I haven't really told you how to make it. So I probably will make a video showing you how to make your own mayonnaise. And believe me, it is super, super easy. Once you do it, you will probably never buy mayonnaise in the store again. So I'm going to use some of my homemade mayonnaise. I've got some celery here, and I've got some onions. So yeah, so let's get started. We're gonna start prepping these radishes first, and get them on the stove onto a little simmer, and then we can prep the rest of our ingredients. Okay, guys, so I've gone ahead and I've washed my radishes up in some cold water, and now I'm going to go ahead and start dicing them just like I would if I was making potato salad. I'm going to dice them up in the same size as I would potatoes, and this radish is quite large, so I'm going to cut the ends off of each one of the radishes, and then like I said, I'm going to go ahead and dice them in bite-sized pieces, just like if I was dicing up potatoes. And now I'm going to be using a smaller saucepan when I cook these, because unlike potatoes, these aren't starchy, and so when you boil them, you're not going to have that risk of boiling over like you would with the potatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and use a smaller saucepan, and I'm going to get these radishes diced up and put in my pan here, and we'll get them on the stove and ready for boiling. Now, you could peel these if you want to. You could use your vegetable peeler and peel them just like a potato. I'm going to go ahead and leave mine with the skins on. Now, I do have to apologize. I'm having to do a voiceover on this video because one more time I've tried to use this microphone and it is shut off on me. So we're going to try to continue on with this video, and I'm just going to have to keep doing the voiceover till almost the end here. But we're going to get this Fauxtato salad made, and I think it's still going to turn out to be a pretty good video. So I've got the radishes prepped, and we're getting ready to get them on the stove here, and I will take you over and show you what that's going to look like. Okay, so I brought my radishes over here to the stove, and I've covered them with water, and I've got them on my favorite burner here, and I'm going to turn the heat on a medium-high heat and let these get to boiling, and then we're going to simmer them until they're nice and fork tender. And while they're getting all tender, we're going to go ahead and go over here and chop the rest of our vegetables for this Fauxtato salad. Okay, so I have a bunch of green onions that I got from Baker Creek that need to be used up. So I'm going to dice those finely. I'm going to use both the whites and the green parts and chop them up pretty small and put them in my bowl over here. And then I've got some a rib of celery that I've washed with some cold water, and I'm going to slice that up or chop that up and dice it up into pretty small pieces as well, and put that in my bowl. And then I've got some pickles. I use the pickle chips or the dill pickle slices, you know, like for hamburger slices. I like those because they're nice and thin and I can chop them pretty fine. So I'm going to chop up a pretty good amount of those and throw those in the bowl here. And then the last thing I'm going to put in the bowl here is some of the boiled eggs. I'm going to use about 3 eggs. And normally I like to, I have used them, you know, diced them up on the cutting board, but it's just a lot easier if I go ahead and hold one in the palm of my hand and slice it and dice it up in pretty small pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and do that and throw that in my bowl. And then we're going to wait for these radishes to get done simmering and until they're fork tender. That does take just a little bit of time because they're a little bit more firm than a potato. So it will take just a little bit of time, and as soon as I have all that's done, I will be back and we're going to put this Fauxtato salad together. Okay guys, so the radishes are done and they're fork tender, and I'm going to get them off the stove right now and rinse them and get them cooled down, and we're going to finish getting the salad together. I'm losing daylight here, so it needs to get done. Okay, as you can see, the water has turned colors, and this is actually the second pan of water. I drained it off the first time, and the water was nice and bright red, and so and I'm just going to give them a nice rinse with some cool water. And see, they turned a nice, lovely, like darkish pink. And that's going to be perfect. It almost looks like you're using red potatoes. Okay, guys, so we're about to get this potato salad done. I've got our onions and pickles and celery and eggs in the bowl here. And I forgot to mention a while ago, we're going to need some mustard for our sauce. I've got some fresh dill from my plants outside, and I'm going to chop that up here in just a little bit. I'm almost out of my homemade mayonnaise, and I didn't really feel like making any more homemade mayonnaise tonight, even though it's super quick and super easy. I just didn't feel like getting out the few things that I needed to do that, and so we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of Miracle Whip in it. I usually like, when I make my regular potato salad, I usually put a little bit of regular mayonnaise and a little bit of Miracle Whip in it anyway. I've been trying to steer clear of Miracle Whip. It's not my favorite. It's my husband's favorite. But because it's got a little bit of sugar in it, and I don't really need the sugar. But we're going to go ahead and use some tonight anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and put my radishes in my bowl here, and those don't look like they're all the way drained. So let me There we go. That'll be good. Got a couple sticking to the pan there. So, but anyway, these are nice and fork tender. And boy, I'm a real mess in the kitchen tonight. And I'm just going to put my Fauxtatos in the bowl there. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix in my mayonnaise. Like I said, I really needed probably about another half cup more mayonnaise than what I have, but we're going to go ahead and use some Miracle Whip in here. Normally, instead of Miracle Whip, I would just go ahead and use all regular mayonnaise and then put just a little sprinkle of sweetener in it if I was staying away from sugar and inflammatory oils for sure. You can just go ahead and use homemade mayonnaise. Sorry, this is making horrible noises. Okay, I think that should be enough. I'm going to put me in some mustard here. Okay, I'm going to give this a stir. Get all those ingredients stirred up in there. And now see, the nice thing about these radishes is they're going to keep their shape and their texture versus, you know, sometimes potatoes, if you get them just a little bit overcooked, they kind of mush up. And then your texture is not quite as good as your potato salad, and the radishes are not going to do that. So as you can see, that's nice and creamy. Those radishes are holding their texture and their shape there. And now I'm going to chop me some fresh dill and put that in there. I love me some fresh dill in the summertime, guys. Love it. Sprinkle some fresh dill on there. And there we go. Isn't that beautiful? That's lovely. And I'm just going to stir that in there. That smells good. Okay, guys, let's give this delicious Fauxtato salad a taste. And I'll see if I can explain the flavor and the texture to you. Now, like I said, this will have a little bit different of a texture than potatoes, but it's really, really similar, to be in all honesty. Very good. I get the little bit of tang from the pickle and the mayonnaise and the mustard. I think for me, this could use just a little bit of sweetener in it because I like mine to have a little bit of a sweetness to it. The radishes really are a very good texture. They've cooked up perfectly. They're nice and tender, but they're not starchy. They don't get mushy like a regular potato does. They hold their shape very well. And yeah, this is a good. Yep, this is really good. So if you are on a low carb diet, or you can't have potatoes, or maybe you're just looking for a different kind of side dish to try, try this. I think you're really going to like it. I think you'll be surprised that the radishes, even though they don't taste like a potato, and the texture is just a little bit different than a potato because it's not starchy, you really can't taste the radish flavor. And so if you're someone who don't really care for radishes and you think, I don't know if I would like to try that, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised that you really don't get the radish flavor in this. So anyway, here's you a good substitute for potato salad to go along with your Memorial Day barbecue. And I thank you for joining me here tonight. I hope you like this recipe, and I hope you'll give it a try. And be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye, y'all.